Good to have you. We begin in Nigeria, where the crisis-rocking Labour Party once again took centre stage on Wednesday when the police in Edo State arrested its national chairman, Julius Abure, who has been facing allegations of fraud and embezzlement of party funds. This arrest, however, was for attempted murder and conspiracy to commit dangerous harm. According to reports, Mr. Abure has since been released, and part of what he said to journalists after what was no struggle to liberate a country comes easy. His arrest had come with preparations intensifying towards Labour Party's participation in the forthcoming Edo State governorship election. We're now being joined by Osuntokun, who was Director General of the Peter Obi Presidential Campaign Council during the last elections, to look at this unfolding scenario in a Labour Party, the arrest of Julius Abure, and how all these could affect the party's governorship primaries in Edo State. Good to have you here, as always.
Thank you very much. Kwanabu.
All right, so...
you understand what I said?
let's just go straight to the issue here. Former youth leader, from what we get, Iragbe Anselm, filed a petition leading to Mr. Abure's arrest recently, allegations of attempted murder. These are serious allegations, although he's been released now. But what are your thoughts in this scenario?
You mean they were accusing him of...
Yes.
Intentions of murder?
Murder, yes.
Well, you know, that has become an, precisely a law and order issue. You know, you don't politicize topics or subjects like that. If there is murder, the threat of murder or killing, that has gone beyond the normal precincts of politics. It has become a law and order issue. But it looks to me unreal. Yeah. When and how and who was he plotting to murder? And so these questions are questions you ask. Look, it doesn't make sense to me that he is planning. On the contrary, the way he was abducted was sinister, right? I mean, you brought down some... when I read about the story, I first thought that, look, there were a group of people, pretending to be policemen. Because I couldn't imagine the law enforcement authorities to do that kind of thing. That you want to arrest a person, pull him from the car and, shove him on the ground. That is beyond... whoever did that is liable to assault. The crime of assault, whether you are a policeman or not. It wasn't that he was resisting arrest, and you just think that people get away with so many things in Nigeria because, no policeman has the right, to slap me or hit me or push me to the ground. No. That police is liable for the crime of assault. But the whole thing, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know how to react to it because it looks preposterous to me that you're accusing him of murder. From where to where? How did that come by? And who is this person making the allegation? It's unknown to the Labour Party. There has been some imposters of late. For the past 1 year. Doing things in the name of Labour Party. And if I'm not mistaken, the last judgment that was given on the issue was an express recognition of Julius Abure as the national chairman, and of course, seconded by INEC. Elections are taking place, off-season elections are taking place in the recent past. And you saw the list that they accepted, that this is the authentic Labour Party chairman, Labour Party list. And so that question has been settled. So anybody, ideally it is a man who is reporting murder, that's the person who should be arrested. Under what auspices is he coming to Edo State to come and do what? You are not known to law, you are not recognized, and then you even went beyond that. Of course, you could have compromised a number of policemen to come and do your bidding. Well, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm still grappling with, you know, the whole thing.
There were also allegations of illegal firearms possession as well as part of that petition.
Illegal firearms.
They said they found it on him while he was being arrested. But
look, the man I know is far from the kind of description that you are giving me. Arms found on him.
I just want to, just for the sake of time, still pounce on that. The manner and the timing of the arrest surely do bring up a lot of questions, like you said. But some people feel like it might be an offshoot of these other allegations that Mr. Abure has been unfortunately roped into, of forgery and perjury. These are coming from everywhere from Ebonyi, Plateau State, Edo State. We also had Maria Lebeke, who was the former national chair of the party. She had a couple accusations for him on Newsday as well when he, to defend her name in terms of forging signatures, as well as Oluchi Opara, who has been making the media rounds as well, who was the state treasurer. So do you feel like any of these are connected in any way?
Well, is there a court order to arrest him? I don't know. I doubt that. So these are issues that must be resolved before we move to the next stage. Of course, there are a lot of people who are negatively interested in the Labour Party. I mean, you know, I thought the degree of, you know, trying to subvert the Labour Party will fall when the president has been sworn in. You know, I think I made a wrong calling in that respect. But all these things about all this, that they are still worried, you know, about the Labour Party. Of course, it shows, you know, the status of the party and the potential. But so I don't. You cannot take the laws into your hands. What we should try and find out is the warrant of arrest from those policemen who came to arrest him. Is there a warrant of arrest, you know, issued by a legitimate, you know, court of law? I doubt if there is any such, you know. So.
All right, maybe you can also, you know, in addition to all of this, recently Mr. Peter Obi is thought to be considering hiring independent auditors to look into Labour's accounts, bordering on alleged financial impropriety. Of course, even Mr. Abure is being fingered on this scenario. I would like to know whether you can confirm that, and to a large extent, you know, what's your take on that scenario, if true?
Well, first of all, you know, you cannot collapse the Presidential Campaign Council with the Labour Party. They are not one and the same thing. So Peter Obi can cause an investigation into the activities of the presidential campaign. I don't think he can do that for the Labour Party. And I'm sure that he didn't do that. He by himself, he cannot cause Labour Party to be investigated. Well, you can write and say, but he cannot initiate or say, look, this is my directive. But he can do so with the Presidential Campaign Council. You know, of course, Mr. Abure is, there are quite a number of people from, maybe about one of them. I think only Abure himself is a member of the Presidential Campaign Council. I'm not sure, but there is a difference between the two.
Well, with the Labour Party, we know it has gained a lot of traction, especially the perception of being above board, of being different from all these other political parties who, quite frankly, are quite messy. With this kind of situation unfolding, do you have any fears that maybe even the obedient movement might have less support for the candidates in Edo State as the primaries are being conducted, or that the party will see some kind of negative backlash from their core group of supporters, which are the youth who, you know, expect for politics to be a little more clean than it usually is?
Well, but that is what Peter Obi has exemplified. Integrity, accountability. He put out, revenue estimate and everything. It came out above board. So rather than why should they feel, that's something that should be celebrated. And that should make more people, the obedience, for instance, to be more resolute in his support. But my own belief, or at the end of the day, is that the Constitution should make provision for independent candidacy. Without any meaning to demean Labour Party. If there was provision for independent, you probably would have run for independent candidates rather than on the platform of Labour Party. I don't want to, but I think I will urge, all the obedience that you are talking in that, for instance, they are the core supporters of Obi. Majority of them are not even members of the Labour Party. Overwhelming majority are not members. And even some members of PDP, in some states, right? Like Cross Rivers, right? The PDP, not officially, but the PDP voted along with other members, with the obedience, for Peter Obi during the presidential election. But during the governorship, they reverted, they didn't support the candidates of the Labour Party. So you find these kind of layers of different supports, all over. There's so many layers of it's going forward. Right? I think that is the challenge we now face, is to consolidate all these disparate groups, right? Let us form a party of our own. We can start, building it from. It was just like what you suggested earlier, that many of these obedience will be put off, by these, brickbats and splashing mud and so on and so forth. So that is the only solution to issues like this. But look, nobody should feel. I shouldn't feel obliged to go and join a certain political party, because I need a vehicle to SPV. It's like many parties today as SPVs that, look, you can come and run, on the platform of our party, nominally. So for me, I honestly believe that is the solution to this, so that we have because anybody wanting to run now, you don't have any other option.
Okay.
That is it. You just have to run on a platform, but theoretically, for instance, what if wanting to run for president, what if I don't fancy any of the parties? Must I? Right? These are questions that I'm saying, look, this is the kind of thing that we should go before to amend the Constitution. There is room for independent candidacy in the U.S. You remember Ross Perot, and quite a number of them. So there shouldn't be a compulsion for you to be a member of a party, a certain political party, for you to run for election. Even though you can say that you can initiate your own party. In other words, you start from the grass up. But at the same time, I don't think that these are the major issue that this has thrown up is the fact that the compulsion, to join a party in order for you to pursue your ambitions. My own experience of having to run by force, particularly, has not been good.
All right, Mr. Osuntokun, if I may, comment, you mentioned the fact that accountability is key here, and there's also the perception that something has to be done, before these elections. Now, critics have called for Mr. Abure stepping aside, at least to allow investigations into these allegations to be concluded. Do you think that's an option open to the party right now? Because whether you like it or not, this has to be cleared up, you know, to have more. So what are the narratives here?
It's an option that, of course.
It's not an admittance of guilt, but at least.
Yes, of course. Yes, I agree with you 100% that, look, the way to clear you, just like I said, Peter Obi himself has set the example. You know, the way to clear you, but because politics is prone to splashing more than things like that, you know, people who accuse you of stealing money that you never even come into contact with, you know. So this is you have to be a little bit discerning, you know. It is people. I get accused, you know, of being, you know, of taking money from, you know, which I wish that were the case when there was no more to be stealing. So the thing is, politics can be very muddy, you know. I've been in many places where they will say something about Obi that I know is not true. So I will tell them what you are saying is not correct. And they run away with it, you know, with this idea that he has committed a crime. Those of us they gave us from nowhere. They said they gave us money from USA, abroad, you know, millions of dollars. If I tell you the real situation, you will laugh, you know. So these are the things we are dealing. I mean, one has to. So one has to be a bit discerning, you know, hesitant, you know, in accusing people, you know, of stealing money. But that is an option that he has. In my own position, I probably would do the same thing. But the caveat here is that you spend in politics, you spend money on certain things that you cannot, that is at your discretion, right? For instance, I said, look, if you want to do a campaign, for instance, anywhere, you go to the police that please come and help us with security. And when they are going away, you give them a tip, 100,000 naira. How do you account for that? And then there are so many field operatives, you know, doing this, one thing or the other. Some people conducting those who want to vote to the polling booths. So when you're talking about money in politics, the first victim of this was Chief Obafemi Awolowo, incidentally. You know, when he was being accused of using the WNDC, that's Western Nigeria Development Corporation, the funds from to finance his campaign, right? Party funding, the funding of political parties, is a problem everywhere in the world. It's not only in Nigeria, right? Anywhere in the world, and the thing is that you need funds, you need money, right? No matter how you want to distance yourself from that kind of, you need money to run elections, to run political parties. Look, in the US, for instance, there's the convention there. If Trump says today, look, my supporters, I need $20 million to pay for my lawyers, thousands of people will be chipping in $5, $10, and then when you clap it up, which is a very good way of raising money, because at the same time it mobilizes them. It mobilizes those who are giving the little money. That's how you test. It's a test of popularity and legitimacy. That the money that you are, otherwise there are billionaires in the US who can pay all the campaign. Of course, it happened with Trump himself. He's a billionaire, so he spent a lot of his own money, you know, on rolling his elections. But as I said, you know, we are hoping to develop the same culture in Nigeria. In fact, the problem with Nigeria is that they find it funny if you ask members to contribute money, to run election. It's like, where is this man coming from?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, for the sake of time, you guys can get creative with the Labour Party as well. You see how President Trump is selling sneakers now in order to ramp up his campaign finances. Maybe the Labour Party should be looking into something like that. We'll have to have a discussion. But finally, Edo State, we know the primaries are coming up. How do you feel everything will turn out for Labour Party amidst all these lower rumblings of allegations and arrests? Do you think it's going to have any effect, or are you completely confident in the party's performance?
Just look, every party will encounter one crisis or the other. You look at the APC now in Edo State. The last time I came, there were 3 people who were claiming to be nominee of the party to have won the primaries. So you get into it. This affects all the, you are going to have a lot of mini crises, conflicts that accompany processes of choosing the candidate, right? What you call the primaries. So it's an anticipated, you can't wish it away. It is not whether it is a matter of degree that, but to expect that you have a smooth primary process is not, unless he has no challenger, right? But this is different from the case. Already one of the contestants, highly rated contestant, the former president of the NBA, because he's my friend, Akpata, has alleged that what he calls the Lamidi faction, I don't want to mention them anyway, were responsible for trying to cause crisis. This is what they do anyway, all over. The same thing happened in Imo. So these are man-made crises. These are contrived crises. But apart from that, there are people who lost, for instance, will be very angry. So you go to them, appeal to them, this and that. So you have to do that. You have to anticipate that fact that after the primaries, you have not, completed the process at all.
All right.
You will need to get people on board, appeal to people,
Very good. On that final note, Akin Osuntokun, former Director General, Peter Obi Presidential Campaign Council, we'd like to thank you very much for your thoughts on the current scenario with Labour and, of course, the primaries going ahead at Edo State. It's good to have you with us.